opportunity to be here with our international guests, and may I extend a welcome to you all.
Where do we go with this? What's it for? It really is about changing the way we invest. It's about really looking at what ACIAR does.
You can have successful private-public partnerships, but you've got to be really think them through right from the beginning.
When we're working with ACIAR, we have an honest broker that can then help to leverage the learnings that we get working together into other companies and with local government bodies as well.
We have to involve at least those who are on the ground, the local authorities, the researchers maybe, the farmers organization, and all other stakeholders that are involved in that value chain.
And I think often when both companies and governments enter into these collaborations, we want to solve the problems of the world today. And that's simply not realistic, and it's not going to happen. So you have to start small and get small wins and start on smaller projects or smaller grower communities.
The challenge is how to scale up to spreading into more farmers.
As a group of farmers, we're looking to forge international connections as a part of the strategy to develop Northern Australia. We don't see our connectivity anymore with Southern Australia. We see our connectivity with Brazil and particularly with Indonesia. And we see ACIAR as probably an important piece of glue in how we might go forward.
ACIAR, just the people that I've worked with at least, they've been real partners around the table. And that's a big lesson. And we expected similar when we went elsewhere, and we just haven't found it.
And then we'll just have almost like a conversation. So what we'd love you guys to do is observe. And if anyone's got... What's really important with regards to working with the private and public sector is to keep communications lines open. The public sector has outcomes that they need to fulfill with regards to research and whatnot. Working with the private sector, they actually need a little bit more flexibility within that because they need to remain commercially viable.
Yeah, I find ACIAR experts very helpful for us in terms of sharing the knowledge, sharing the technology, and it's very... Scientists in Indonesia love to talk to the Australian experts. ACIAR has deployed lots of PhD specialists working for forestry from University of Tasmania, working with us. So we've been working a lot in the area of disease control.
With engaging with the community and trying to get more local communities involved with oyster production for the farms, they've been really helpful because they've got the time and the manpower to go to individual villages, talk about it, explain it properly. And one thing, and because I am a fisheries person, that we come back and we have not touched on, I don't think nearly enough, but needs to be included, is we can't forget about fisheries, aquaculture, fisheries management, and it needs to be part of all ACIAR thoughts and funding going forward also.
We need enterprise-based solutions to be truly sustainable. We don't need donor-based programs that don't focus on the market and sustainability and with a 3-year horizon.
At ACIAR, we want you to adopt a 10-year plan, a long-term 10-year plan. These are the 6 strategic things we need to do. This is how we're going to do it, and we will work towards doing it. In our business, which is a small business, there's only 3 people full-time engaged at the moment. We simply don't have the resources. It's not a financial issue, it's just executive capacity to jump on planes and search through these remote areas, purely because of the time frame. When we're away from the machines, we don't make chocolate.
what I'm really interested in is how does a company like mine, that is small, that is private, work with an organisation like ACIAR, because we have got ourselves involved with a couple of projects and we really enjoy it. And I think there's a lot of opportunity for ACIAR to be gained from engaging with companies like ours.
The question is, what's the mechanism and what's the role of each of the partners in the marriage of the public and private sectors? Where's the best place to invest? So I think my experience tells me that the public dollars can be used really effectively for enhancing capability in the private sector.
We go through cycles. We had a 25-year period of underinvestment, reduced growth in agricultural research investment. We're paying the price now for that in higher prices for farm products. That's triggered this new interest again in agriculture when we had these 3 price spikes in the last 6 years in grains, for example. And that's exciting. That's bringing governments and others back into focusing on the market failure that otherwise occurs in terms of research.
We have worked very comfortably with various research organizations, donor organizations, and semi-private, semi-autonomous organizations as well. So we are very comfortable, and I think that this is the blueprint for the future, wherein different parts glue together to improve the livelihood of the smallholders in many parts of the emerging economies.
And we have a much larger organisation in the aid game in the room, which is DFAT, and they do already work with the private sector and have done so for a long time.
For me, I think what it's really highlighted is ACIAR's role as a broker of partnerships, recognising, this has been mentioned, that ACIAR is not a research agency, we purely exist and bringing together capacities to address problems, to improve livelihoods and economic development.
The benefit is there immediately of having the public and private sector together in this room. ACIAR, by nature, sort of tends to be certainly more public.
And I think the thing that ACIAR brings to the table is an enormous amount of credibility. It has reach and networks basically around the world.
Could I close by saying that I walk away from this conference having learned something really new, and I love it. It'll sit with me forever. Prakash, reciprocal altruism. I just love it. It was fantastic. Thank you.
The private sector is always in search, if it's in that mode of operation, where it needs to engage, say, with the public sector in this case. It's looking for ways, places, people, networks to engage with, and actually that is what ACIAR has.